Welcome. Take a slow breath. Allow your body to become still and gently open the inner space of listening, not only with your mind but with your whole being. Today I invite you into a sacred threshold, a living field of consciousness, a path that is not merely studied but walked, not merely understood but embodied. The book we are entering is a gateway into inner strength, conscious growth, and spiritual maturity. It is a transmission of a way of living, a way of becoming, and ultimately a way of serving life itself. This teaching was not created to inform you. It was created to transform you. Let us begin with its deeper purpose. At its heart, this work is an invitation to awakening through conscious development of the human being, in mind, heart, body, and spirit. It presents a vision of a new era of humanity, a golden age, not as a distant fantasy, but as a living potential emerging through the transformation of individuals. The book does not begin with the world, it begins with you. Because every new world begins in consciousness. Every change in society begins in the inner life of human beings, and every true spiritual path begins with self-knowledge. The deeper message is simple yet profound. When you transform yourself, you participate in the transformation of humanity. This is not personal development for personal gain, this is development for the evolution of life itself. At the center of the teachings lies a powerful structure, an initiatory path of the three great movements of transformation. First comes purification, the release of inner limitations, old conditioning, emotional wounds, distorted beliefs, everything that clouds perception and weakens inner strength. Then comes healing, a restoration of harmony within the soul, the body, and the mind. Healing is not only the removal of pain, it is the return of vitality, clarity, and balance. And finally comes sanctification, the flowering of your highest potential, the conscious embodiment of wisdom, love, responsibility, and service. This threefold movement is not abstract philosophy. It is a living process, a journey of becoming who you truly are beneath conditioning and fragmentation. The path is supported by three pillars that sustain the unfolding of human potential. The first pillar is inner transformation, the deep work of refining consciousness. The second pillar is education and personal growth, the development of skills, character, and understanding. The third pillar is spiritual training, the direct cultivation of higher awareness and connection with the divine. Together these pillars create balance. Inner work without practical development becomes detached. Practical development without spiritual depth becomes empty. Spiritual aspiration without transformation becomes illusion. But when all three unite, a whole human being emerges. One of the most powerful initiatory aspects of the teachings is the emphasis on introspection. To walk a spiritual path is to become willing to see yourself, clearly, honestly, compassionately. Not to judge, not to condemn, but to understand. You are invited to observe your thoughts, your emotional patterns, your habits, your strength, your wounds, and your hidden motivations. Through this process, the book guides the reader into what may be called the soul mirror, a conscious reflection of one's inner landscape. From this clarity, transformation becomes possible, because what is seen can be healed, what is understood can be changed, what is accepted can be refined. Without introspection, growth is accidental. With introspection, growth becomes conscious evolution. Another central transmission of the book is the cultivation of virtues, not as moral obligations, but as living energies that shape consciousness. Qualities such as discipline, courage, compassion, resilience, clarity, patience, presence, and responsibility are not treated as abstract ideals. They are practiced, observed, strengthened, and integrated into daily life. Each positive quality becomes a frequency that reorganizes the personality from within. Over time, the individual does not merely behave differently. They become different, more stable, more conscious, more aligned with truth, more capable of love and service. This is the formation of what the teachings call the master mindset, the ability to guide one's own life with awareness, responsibility, and inner strength. The path is not only inward. It expresses itself outward in relationships, communication, leadership, cooperation, health, and service to society. Spirituality is not presented as withdrawal from life, but as deeper participation in life. Learning to communicate with clarity, to nourish the body with intelligence, to manage projects, to work in teams, to support others, to contribute to the well-being of community. All of this becomes part of the spiritual path, because true awakening does not separate the sacred from the practical. It unifies them. As one walks this path, certain inner experiences may naturally arise. Greater self-awareness, emotional clarity, release of long-held tension, a sense of direction and purpose, inner stability in difficult situations, growing compassion toward others, moments of deep stillness, a quiet sense of connection with something greater than the personal self. These are not goals to chase. They are natural consequences of alignment. When the inner world becomes ordered, life begins to flow differently. Why are these teachings so relevant in modern life? Because humanity stands at a threshold. Material progress has not brought inner fulfillment. Information has not created wisdom. Connection through technology has not created unity of heart. Many feel overwhelmed, fragmented, uncertain of meaning. This path responds to the real need of our time, the reintegration of the human being. It offers structure in confusion, direction in chaos, inner strength in uncertainty, community in isolation, purpose in a world searching for meaning. It prepares individuals not merely to survive change, but to consciously participate in the evolution of humanity. Who is this path for? It is for sincere seekers, for those who feel that life must hold deeper meaning, for those willing to grow not only when it is easy, but when it is challenging, for those who sense that personal transformation and service to the world are inseparable. It is for those who are ready to become conscious participants in the unfolding of life. Ultimately, this teaching supports awakening, inner mastery, and conscious evolution by guiding the individual through a complete arc of development. Self-knowledge, purification, healing, integration, embodiment, service. It leads from fragmentation to wholeness, from reaction to awareness, from confusion to clarity, from self-concern to conscious participation in the greater good. It is not merely a book, it is a training ground for becoming fully human, and beyond that, consciously spiritual. If you feel resonance, if something within you recognizes this call, then allow this to be the beginning of your deeper journey. You may enter the teachings more fully by reading the book and walking its practices with sincerity. If you wish to receive structured initiatory training, you may continue through the deeper programs of For Mystics. And if your heart calls you towards spiritual brotherhood, service, and long-term development, you are welcome to continue your path within Ordo Mysticus. Take your time, walk gently, but walk sincerely. The path is open. Love, light, and service, I am Ray del Sol.